in Dumo do Sala Pamente. Whoa, okay. This is a UFO blast from the past. This occurred November 25th, 2014. Two black triangles. Perfect. In more detail, the witness states, I saw two dark triangles 500 meters above my head. As soon as I saw them, I remember that I was cursing. I thought that the crappy Americans were trying their vehicles. Oh, great. Then in a few seconds, the leaders were gliding, and it was impossible. They were too huge, and they were 6 meters thick. They had to stall their engines, were three white spherical lights, but they were made of electricity and did not emit noise, lasted 30 seconds, and then on the back, while pointing towards Switzerland, I noticed of the square windows, 2 rows of 8 light windows, normal, neon house. Okay. Um, really cut up here. I'm doing my best. And suddenly, hemisphere and electric blue flash and disappeared. I was shocked. In front of them there was a mountain of 3,000 meters, and even today I do not know if they are teleported or so. I only know that they were not humanly conceivable. Okay, well, and that sighting again, that was in Domo do Sala Piemonte? Something like that. I don't know. Okay, moving on to the next UFO sighting. This occurred in Houstonia, Missouri. This is another UFO blast from the past. This occurred October 31st, 2011. Unintentional capturing of image on my phone while taking photo of geese. Saw a black blip the instant I took the photo. In more detail, they state, while on a casual morning drive in a rural area very close to where I lived, I spotted what seemed to be thousands of Canadian and snow geese spiraling above a lake just a few hundred yards off the blacktop I was traveling on. I remember thinking how awesome this sight was, as it resembled a large vortex over the water. So I decided to pull over to the side of the road and take a few photos with my phone. I walked around to the passenger side of my pickup and held my phone up and focused on the lake and geese. The instant I pressed the touch screen to capture the image, I saw a blip, or a black flash, out of the corner of my left eye. I remember having a strange sensation, so I, in an almost frantic fashion, got back into my pickup and drove off. I didn't look at the photo I took for several hours afterward. Not because I didn't want to, but because it seemed to have no importance compared to that blip. But then I looked and saw what I could not explain. I had captured on film a UFO. I have showed my photo of whatever it is to several people who have provided many different explanations, but none of which are acceptable to me. I do not know what the object was. I know it was there and gone in a flash. I know it was in the sky using some form of flight and propulsion I am not aware of. And I know it scared me a little. Whiteman Air Force Base is located just to the west of where the photo was taken. Maybe they hold the raw answer? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, they spelled answer raw answer. All right, moving on. The next UFO sighting occurred in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This happened October 1st, 2016, not too long ago. In brief, they say, I saw a beam in the clouds and a disc-shaped object. In more detail, they say, I saw a beam coming from clouds. I took a picture of the clouds, and only later, upon looking at the photos, I noticed that there are UFOs in the pictures. These pictures were taken on my cell phone while in my car. Ooh. The next UFO sighting, the person states Black Triangle sighting in Capital Federal, Buenos Aires. This occurred December 16th, 2017. triangular unidentified flying object. In more detail, they say, "Hi there. It was a very hot day in Buenos Aires, and me and my wife went out to the roof to lie down. She was on her phone. I was just watching Orion's Belt and Sirius. All of a sudden, I saw what I thought first a group of bright stars moving together. That was my first thought. Then I realized that it was not. I was lying down. I told my wife to look. We both jumped and run to the other side of the roof to follow it. It was coming from east and heading west, very silent, very low, and very low speed. I worked in airlines before, and I am an aviation enthusiast. There is no way that this object was an airplane, or any other thing that I know. It was transparent and had lights down. I am not sure if it had like 5 or 7 lights. When I first saw it, the lights were very visible and strong. Then it reduced the light to a quarter, I would say. Then I lost vision of it behind a tall building. I kept telling my wife, "Did you see that?" Another thing I did immediately after it disappeared is checking flight radar website to see if there were any planes flying around that area at the time. I could not find any, which means that thing was not captured by the radar. Flight radar is very accurate. I use it all the time. If anybody saw that too, I hope that they will report it. Okay. The next UFO sighting occurred in Seabrook, New Hampshire. This occurred October 20th, 2017. Headed from direction of sun, glided and slowed, ascended and descended, vanished, then a second one came. Ooh. In pursuit of companion, or first 4 minutes after first one. Okay. In more detail, the witness states, lying on hammock in my yard with eyes closed. Opened my eyes after seeing a vision of a craft. Oh. A craft was heading away from direction of the sun when I first saw it. Shaped oval or like kidney bean or football. Varies in photos I took. I thought, wow, that's awesome. I had just had a vision and there is a craft. I got my phone and took some pictures. In last picture of first craft, it appeared to have been sucked in or traveled up into a beam of light which came from very high in the sky to the northwest. The sun was lower in southwest sky. I didn't see it vanish. It just vanished. The picture of the beams of light from opposite direction of sun is why I consider it possible it traveled in the light. I don't know or state that as definite fact. 4 minutes later, a second craft followed it in pursuit of conjunction. It may have been a small jet or a rocket. I photographed that also. 2 days later, I had an abduction experience and ended up in the ER on October 23rd in Exeter, New Hampshire. Wow. I had bite marks of unknown origin on lower abdomen which are consistent in location with the immense pain I felt during the abduction, which took place between 3 to 4 a.m. on the 22nd of October. Oh, that's different. Huh, bite marks? What kind of kinky aliens are these? It was absolutely the most painful and upsetting abduction or encounter I have ever had. A CAT scan was performed to ensure no life-threatening injury to abdomen. The bite mark was noted, but no ointment or medical care was provided to the location of external injury. Saline and pain medicines were administered at hospital. Superficial burn was on my neck, posterior and inferior to right ear. This was not the first time I'd been at the ER after an abduction and had a fever and unexplainable wounds with recollection of the abduction event. October 20th, 2016, accurate within a day. After 5 days of feeling very sick, I went to ER. The date of the visit to ER was approximately 5 days after that abduction. Was the last time I'm certain the abduction was the cause of the injuries and fever and pain, sick feeling. My body has become sensitive. My skin is sensitive to sun and wind, and my body doesn't regulate body temperature very well. I have a fan on me at least 20 hours a day. Otherwise, I get hot and begin sweating. I'll send the photos separately. I posted them and then decided to take them down due to terms of use. The photos are available for you to view, but I'd rather reserve the rights to my photographs. I don't blame you. Huh, interesting. Sounds like some kind of radiation exposure going on. Yikes. Oh, gosh. You don't hear very many abductions anymore. I'm just saying. All right. Moving on to the next UFO sighting. Black Triangle sighting in Scotia? Or Ciota? Ciota! Pennsylvania. This occurred December 21st, 2017. Driving home evening, saw a bright star that started to dip and sway, but not move. Had lights under its shape of a fat triangle with round circles of light. In more detail, the witness states, I was driving home the evening of Thursday, December 21st, 2017, coming off of Route 33 north of Layton exit and was struck by how bright a star was. There were two stars next to each other, but one was brighter than the other. I thought they were stars since they were not moving. I looked to see where the moon was, and it was on the opposite side from them. As I was staring up at the brightest of the two stars, the one on the right, which was the very bright one, started to dip, or so that I could actually see the shape, which was a fat triangle with rounded tips to the triangle instead of points. As I was watching this, still trying to decipher what I was actually viewing, and it wasn't a plane not moving, just a second of dip to see shape. It dipped to the other side, then upright again. As it dipped for a few seconds, I saw the underside to have three large circle of lights at each rounded tip. I then had to keep driving, so I don't know what happened after that. It was not moving at all and was definitely very bright, like a star, but dipped and swayed to show shape of a fat triangle with rounded tips, and at each tip circular set of lights. I felt that I looked for anything that it could be, and it didn't fit any of those things. Not a plane, not a star, not a shooting star, not the moon. Next UFO sighting. In Los Angeles, California. This occurred December 26, 2017. Red light ascended above moon, waited 10 minutes while changing colors, then defied the laws of Newtonian physics. In more detail, the witness states, December 23rd, 2017, Los Angeles, a single large red light flew upward amidst the normal lax traffic towards the moon. Once it got into position, it stopped and just sat there in one position for a good 10 minutes. During this time, it was mostly this really deep bright red, but would turn green for a few seconds every now and then. And sometimes it would just turn completely off, disappear. Then in the course of about 3 seconds, it went from the full stop position to position countless miles away, then stopped on a dime. Mind you, it did not just go out and appear miles away, nor did it accelerate and decelerate. You just see this red dot just kind of casually travel this large distance with ease, then come to a complete stop. It then traveled all the way across the horizon to the other direction, descending and moving horizontally in funky patterns. It's kind of hard to describe this last part. This next UFO sighting happened in Glasgow, Scotland. And this occurred, this is a little bit of a UFO blast from the past. This occurred November 20th, 2015. And they are saying from heaven and other planets, including Cancer. All right, in more detail, the witness states various. One is a silver triangle, another is a small circular with glass dome, another is a cigar shape. The living beings speak English, are of gray skin tone and color, round or triangular shaped face. They enter the atmosphere above Germany and fly through to the UK and other countries, including the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, through the atmosphere into our hemisphere. They have been arriving on a daily basis since 2015. Please see photographs included within. You will see airwaves and also lights creating a horseshoe-type shape, which was created for reasons with an aircraft, and also aircraft beams of radiation. You can contact me, blah, 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 phone number. Okay, anyways, moving on. You guys can look that one up on UFOHeadlineNews.com. We have all the links to everything I'm reading here. Next, UFO sighting in White, Georgia. December 26, 2017. In brief, the witness states, saw a bright light in the sky move slowly twice the size of Venus. Looked to see what satellite it was with an app, then looked up, and it was gone. I was looking for Orion's belt and saw it in that area. In more detail, the witness states, I was walking my dogs and wanted to see Orion's belt, and there was this huge star, twice the size of Venus. Just figured out where it was and liked to see it. I guess I had too many lights on, so not too many stars were out, but when I looked for Orion's belt, there was this light in the sky, so I watched it for a while to see if it was moving, and it was, but slowly. A little big for a satellite, but I thought I would take out my phone and check the app that shows that when I took the phone to point it to, it was gone. So I didn't get to see it leave. Just a white light, much brighter than anything else in the sky except for the moon. No red or another color lights coming from it. I go out at that time most nights, give or take a few minutes. Okie dokie. The next UFO sighting. This happened in Southbury, Connecticut, December 26, 2017. In brief, the witness states observed bright star-like object mile north of exit 15 on I-84. Object rapidly turned west, then quickly went east. In more detail, driving north to Waterbury on I-84 Connecticut, I observed what I first thought was an extremely bright star. The object then so quickly went east, only a little bit. If I would guess the object was a mile or 2 miles north of exit 15, then it moved 5 inches left from my line of sight. I'd guess a football size length. Unsure because I am unsure the size of the object. Then it moved east-northeast, even more quickly, until it disappeared behind the trees. This is my second UFO sighting. My second that I've reported this year to MUFON, although my first took place years ago. I have kept my eyes searching, my heart desperately wanting to see what I saw years ago. I was not looking for a UFO. I thought at first it was a star until it moved in an impossible aerial manner for any man or flying vehicle. It was over before I could even grasp what I was seeing. I can't imagine that I was the only one who saw this, as there were many cars on the highway and it was impossible to not notice while looking ahead, which was a straight part of highway at that point, which makes the objects turn not an illusion. Okay, I just read this stuff. There are words missing. People write them. I read them as they write them. There is an airport nearby, but given the movements, I know it was not a plane. Okay, hopefully, it came up on the radar for the airport. This event was not better than my first sighting of 3 objects, and so much shorter. I am so glad to have seen another. I hope that if anyone else saw this, that they report it to validate my sighting. Before I saw my first sighting, I thought UFO sightings were lies or delusions. But then I became a believer real quick. I'd sometimes see objects at first having hope it's another UFO, only to be disappointed and observing it as something unidentifiable, which only made me upset to tell the truth. But tonight was very amazing. Not as much as my first sighting, which by searching I'm sure you'll find my description of those objects, which is lengthy. To add to my giddiness is the admission of the Pentagon's UFO program and release of the jet UFO chase off the coast of San Diego. I hear you on that one, which has made my hopes of disclosure boiling. Bless what you guys do here and happy holidays. And oh, what I saw was not Santa. Ha 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 ho ho ho. Okay. Okay, moving on. The next UFO sighting occurred in Lakemore, Illinois. This happened December 26, 2017. In brief, the witness says, I walked outside and was looking at the sky and saw a bright light turn and then disappear. In more detail, they say, well, I was saying goodbye to my girlfriend, and as I walked outside, because she said to feel how cold it was, I looked up into the sky to see a bright light in between the stars above my head, thinking that it was a star. I brushed it away, and then as soon as I was about to look away, it started heading north, turned around, and headed south. My girlfriend did not witness it and does not believe me. The next UFO sighting occurred in Belvedere, California, December 26, 2017, area above San Francisco Bay amongst San Francisco flight paths. Only moves when planes start to fly near. In more detail, they state, I was working security in San Rafael with clear view of the sky above the bay. Turn 3 hours. I witnessed approximately 100 planes landing and taking off from San Francisco area, except for one. At first, it looked just like a star, but as a plane approached, it lazily drifted more to the west from my perspective, out of the plane's way or something, and then stays put, flashing brilliantly, then going dull for a short period of time, then with a bright flash comes back into view. I walked away for about 5 minutes while working, came back to look at it, and it was moving very obviously to the southwest. As I'm speaking, it is drifting back to the east. It only seems to move larger distances when other planes are in the vicinity. Seems very observatory. What is that? I'm currently watching it, so nothing else about it to report. Observatory. Okay, in the light of the holiday spirit and it being New Year's Eve, I think it's wonderful that we end this year and maybe begin this year with angels and miracles along paranormal lines. Angels are among us. My 15-year-old grandson and I were putting up garage sale signs several blocks down the street. When I got back in the car to head home back, I looked at Dawson. He was looking out straight ahead and asked if he got stay the night. Okay, if he wants to stay the night. No sooner than he asked the question while driving, in a flash of an eye, I saw a huge white angel wings encompass my windshield, and at that very second, Dawson shouted, Grandma, did you see that? I said, yes, I saw huge angel wings covering my windshield. He said, no, Grandma, I saw a ball of fire. We were both shocked as to have seen two different things. We were strong believers and have experienced many miracles, but who is ready for something like this? No trees fell, no storm. Why angel wings in front of me, covering my side of the windshield, and fireball flash for him? Cannot understand this, but awesome. I could actually see the inner wing with all its brilliance and feathers, huge, gone as fast as it came. This next story, Angel at Night. My family and I were going through a terrible experience back in 2006. And to make a long story short, I had a chair next to my bed one night. I was sleeping, and I woke up looking towards my chair, and there was a little girl, dressed in all white with a hat on. She had beautiful glow, but all of a sudden she walked away. I could not fall back asleep. I was terrified, but to this day, I know she was an angel watching over me. Okay. And the next story, we never forget. I've never told this story. When I was about 7 years old, I was left at home alone with my nephew, who was 3 at the time. We were playing in a back room when something scared us. I don't remember what I saw or heard, but I knew I had to get out of that house, or we were going to die. I clutched my nephew tightly, both of us screaming and crying, and ran toward the front door. Just before reaching the exit, I saw a tiny ball of glowing white light hovering just above our front door. I stopped dead in my tracks. I could not take my eyes off that ball. Suddenly, it started getting bigger and bigger. Eventually, we were totally engulfed by the light. The next memory I have was floating inside this light. Oh, I have goosebumps. It was the most purest, beautiful, soft light ever, and I was transfixed by it. It felt so good. I can still feel it when I think about that day. Inside the light, there was no sense of fear, pain, or worry. Somehow I knew everything was okay and we were going to be fine. Beautiful, bright light. I've never experienced anything like this, but it was amazing. Every night I will say a prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Guard me, Jesus, through the night, and wake me with the morning light. And it actually happened to me when I woke up out of nowhere and seen a beautiful bright light filling up my room. I thought maybe somebody turned on the light, but I remembered the light in my room is very dim. And then I thought about the window. But I keep the blinds closed all the time. I soon went back to sleep with a great feeling and a sense of security. Wow. Well, I have to thank you for listening to UFO Headline News with me, Heidi Hollis. Be sure to check out UFOHeadlineNews.com every single day. And also tune into my 2 other weekly shows, The Outlander, that is on Fridays, and I co-host on The Kevin Cook Show. Both shows are at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Catch my paranormal comic strip, The Outlanders, at theoutlanderscomic.com. Direct links can be found to everything I mentioned here at HeidiHollis.com, and you will find things there my parents don't even know about. Or just go to InceptionRadioNetwork.com. And, if you've experienced something out of the ordinary and want some level-headed advice, or if you've seen a UFO and want to share, be sure to write me at my main website, HeidiHollis.com, or to my email, which is dusoutlander@gmail.com, which is spelled D as in David, A, S as in Sam, Outlander @gmail.com. Remember always to keep an open mind so you can stay